So yeah, awesome. Question one, obviously the movie is based on Mr. Rogers and his overall impact on the audience and the public that he had so much influence over. What was your reception of the theme of the movie?
Yeah, so actually, I remember growing up, I watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood a little bit, or Won't You Be My Neighbor, a little bit, but I didn't realize how deep he went with subjects. And he got really into, things going on socially, politically, and I think he did a great job of just, encouraging people to stay kind throughout these difficult times and talking to children in a way that they'll understand and they'll be able to, it won't, like, he didn't circle around any subject, I think he was just straight up with kids, and I think that's something that we often don't do with children, and I think a lot of children needed that during that time. And I don't know what else to say, but I guess just after watching it, he just really inspired me, even so I'm a future educator, and I often forget this idea of being positive and staying positive during difficult times, so I think that was a really important message that he put across, and hopefully I can take that with me as I continue out into the world. So yeah.
Totally. That leads right into my next question. This is obviously a movie. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was premeditated. The timing of this movie for the kind of maybe boiling point of society that we live in. That there's so much hostility and kind of judgment. So overall, maybe big question, but in this film, do you think people should go about it in the meaning of a documentary, or kind of embrace that? Yeah, it is preaching something.
Wait, what do you mean?
That's a bit, yeah. Let me re-articulate that. Do you think this should be a movie just to absorb the profile of Mr. Rogers, or should we actively apply it to our everyday life?
Oh yeah, I think definitely this is not just about Mr. Rogers. I think it shows this kind of character and this person that people can be, and I think people have gone away from that character. As they said in the documentary, I mean, you don't see people like this today. You don't see people that just genuinely care and show kindness. And I think it wasn't just about Mr. Rogers, it was trying to influence people to change their minds about what they see in society, and I think also just the political meaning behind it. They talked about building a wall to cut people out, and that really stuck with me, because that's something that's happening right now in society, building a wall to cut people out. And I think that hopefully through this film, people see that back then that was a huge thing, and now it's just reoccurring. It's like history repeats itself. It's just happening again, and hopefully people see that we can't let it happen again, and we need people like Mr. Rogers, even though he's gone, but people like him to come in and show people why is it wrong to build walls, why is it wrong to keep people out, and why is it important to show kindness.
Totally. That leads right into my next question. So back then, the just overall cable and media was quite limited compared to 2019, where you got social media, and every 5 seconds you have a opportunity to network or connect. But back then it was just a TV that you tuned in at 3 o'clock on whatever. So do you think people who see this film will like utilize our resources more effectively, like with social media, and hopefully build what he was trying to communicate to in the early 60s and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think it's really hard to say. I feel like for a while there, we were at a point where it was just about getting people money, making the rich keep getting richer, all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like this dominant group of people just trying to rule over everyone else and push their, I think, incorrect, political agenda. But I think with a lot of discussion on it, I'm thinking particularly just diversity of voices, diversity of producers, and diversity of leaders. I think with that, we can definitely change the way that our political climate is right now. Because, I definitely think back in the day, Mr. Rogers was like this, they talked about it, this radical force in the media. And I think that we can kind of start to push people and maybe be a radical voice, but have it more normalized and just create this normal, it's normal to have diversity, it's normal to be kind, I guess, and it shouldn't be about making money. It should be about spreading the word of kindness, of inequality, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah. Okay, good. 2 more questions. So, we obviously have the film, from when I saw it, discusses Mr. Rogers. He understood the impact he had. It wasn't like he was gonna shy over, how influential he could be. And, he would spotlight pretty hard topics like, grief, or there's the scene with the kid in the wheelchair back then. Like, what dynamic, 2-part question, do you think back then that was received as, ambitious or like over the line to talk about, like, what's an example? Like when King Friday was talking about something.
Was it The Wall?
No, not The Wall. The president getting shot. The assassination. Mm-hmm. Like, kids can't comprehend, deep issues like that. He kind of introduced that in kind of a subtle yet meaningful way. So, do you think we should continue doing that, or is it like these are kids that they'll learn about that kind of stuff later in life?
Kids are gonna see things in their life that they're gonna see, and whether it's on accident or on purpose, things are gonna happen no matter what. And I think instead of just walking over it or not, as I said, not like dancing in circles, we need to address issues, and we need to be honest with kids and be open. And I think that's a lot of the problems that we have today, is that we just kind of pretend like kids don't see things that are happening. But they do. They see the news, they see even TV shows that are either showing, death, violence, all that stuff. And so instead of just not talking about it, we need to talk about it. And I think definitely do it in the way that Mr. Rogers did. Obviously not being so blunt and straight up, but he kind of casually went into a subject, and it wasn't, he did it in such a great way, and I hope that people can kind of find that happy medium of talking to kids about real issues that are happening that will affect them too. So.
Yeah. And then final question for you on this time, but what in this film obviously tackles quite a few issues, but do you think that for a documentary like this, how would you recommend kind of seeing this movie and approaching the call to action it's trying to spark, as in just like simple stuff like just being kinder to people, like how do we take that next step?
How do we take that next step of addressing?
Yeah, just like how, because we can watch the movie and be like, oh yeah, be nicer, but like some people are like, oh, well, I'm already nice, like.
Yeah, so I think what needs to happen is for people to see, I think a lot of the problems that are happening, because you can sit here and say that you're nice, but why do we still have violence? Why do we still have people killing people? And I think we need to bring those topics up and prove to people that the world is not perfect. And I don't think it ever will be perfect, but at this moment right now that I'm speaking to you, I think we're in a rough time where there's a lot of hate. And I think that having documentaries like this, getting up and talking to people about these issues, about inequality, about racism, all that stuff, I think we need to stand up and speak out. I think people should use their voice in any way that they can, whether it be protesting, whether it be just talking to a friend one-on-one, and even just, for example, if a friend says something you're uncomfortable with that's offensive or takes away from your morals, I think that you need to approach that topic. And I guess just we need to start speaking up more. And I think that's something that Mr. Rogers did. Whenever an issue would pop up, he was able to approach it. And so, and a little bit, like, for me, I feel like I used to be that quiet kid that didn't really talk, didn't really want to fight for other people. But when I think about the privilege that I'm in, I think I can use my voice to better the world. And so I think that's something you need to do. Take a look in the mirror and say, can I do better? And you usually can.
Perfect.